Woo! What's up, everybody? Sorry for the lateness. Yeah. We are here. We are here. What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing? Let me know who's in the building. We got Son is Hot Raw. We got Free Will Defender. We got Namer. Woo! We got them all. Some draws. How y'all doing? We got Bit of Truth. Wake up, go to sleep, huh? Oh man, I'm gonna tell you that Doctor Strange movie, man. There's so many things in there. I can tell you that one, it's no different than when you have the gynocracy. What about now? What about now? Let me come out and come back in. Woo! How do I sound? How do I sound? Is it still low? Let me know. Eating on the small side. How do I sound now? I'm gonna let me repeat what I was saying, man. I told you once and I told you again. Wanda Maximoff is the patron saint of the gynocracy. A little better. You sound like I usually know how to kick a man while he's down, huh, Bay? Only because your foot's closer than your fist. I mean, that joint there, man. That gynocracy, man. I'm gonna tell you, just from the just from the basic imagination, she didn't care who she had to kill. And I'm going to warn you, you should already know. Coming here, if you haven't seen the movie, spoilers. I shouldn't have to tell you that. Why would you bring your ass here? Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. We're going to have people who saw it because I see a lot of I see a lot of things in that movie which was good. I think it could have been a little bit longer. Hey, what's up, babe?
What's up?
What's up? You saw the movie, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that last Thursday night. Supposed to went with my best friend, but he's back with his wife, so that was that.
Oh
What's good,
yeah.
everybody?
Hey, what's up?
First of all,
It's
Charles,
funny.
I don't. Charles, hold on.
What's up?
I just want to say this. First of all, motherfucker, I don't mind the spoilers because sometimes I want to know if it's worth my time to even watch this shit. So spoil away for me.
All right. This is one of the few movies that they really didn't. You're right. They didn't really push any feminist agenda. She wasn't a
Really?
feminist, even though she was not. She was
No.
delusional. She was delusional than a motherfucker. That's the closest I could say to feminism. She was is delusion.
Oh yeah,
But
she was very deluded,
yeah, and
delusional. Excuse me.
and
Do you
I'm
think
glad
some
they
of those
didn't.
delusions have to be doing with trauma?
Huh?
You think some of those delusions are trauma based because they have to, because they're not ready to deal with reality?
That's basically what delusion is. In her case, it was a lot of shit with her. Like she's crazier than a bag of ferrets. And unfortunately for her, she just I see where they tried to make her into like a tragic hero,
Uh-huh.
but it kind of felt a little jaded. Like you're just a full blown villain. You're literally the villain. you crossed a line that you can't come back from.
You
Even
know
though
what I was
somehow they
wondering?
can, uh,
I was wondering where was this Wanda in Endgame?
she was there, but I mean, she was there. She almost tried to take out Thanos by herself, but you know, he had backup.
Right. Plus, she didn't have the knowledge of that book,
Yeah,
so I
true.
was just being facetious.
But it's like one. If you really want to think about it, there was no way in hell Thanos could have beat Captain America with a goddamn if he had the Thor's hammer, which gave him literally the abilities of a god. No way in hell. Especially as prodigious as a hand-to-hand combatant he is, and
Mm-hmm.
you gave him basically the strength of Thor, who can go toe to toe with the Hulk. Yeah, no way in hell. But we're watching comic book movies, and we already have to suspend belief. But I'm actually happy they didn't make Doctor Strange look stupid. The teenage girl didn't was she of course she's gonna be a little spunky survivor, survivor instincts, but she wasn't smarter than Doctor Strange. She was actually
Doctor
both.
Strange, first of all, if you know his background, he was he
He was
he
a
he,
surgeon.
he was an accomplished surgeon whose hands were fucked up, but his he had a level of arrogance as well as confidence due to his being such a brilliant surgeon. Just like how Tony Stark is pretty arrogant in his own right as a brilliant industrialist and inventor.
Well,
And
you know what? When dude spoke about when you mentioned the feminist aspect, what I did see is that one woman will kill another woman, even if it's a child, in order to get what she wants.
mhm.
Even though,
And it's just
even
about the
though what she
meme.
wants is detrimental to her and
the
everyone around her.
and the multiverse. Now that I'll give you that one because that sounds like the gynocracy in that aspect. Like how many abortions? I want my freedom. Abort.
No, you don't. You want the ability to be as reckless as and irresponsible without the accountability. That's what abortion is. I mean, because here's what I say: if you are pro-choice, if you're not looking to have kids, then why don't you use contraceptives? Why does it have to be always abortion? Next thing you know, he. I mean, the thing is, one thing, you know what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say,
Yeah, it's always gonna be some. It's always gonna be some non-direct, non-confrontational BS. Because let's
aggressively
just keep it.
passive.
Let's just let's just call it a spade a spade. Is that when you look
Yeah.
at this movie, starting out, everybody asks Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange,
Mm-hmm.
if he's happy. And if you ever notice, it's kind of similar what they tell black men a lot. Are you happy? If somebody even give a damn. And what if we say no, we're not? What are you gonna do to fix it? Think about it.
First of
Some
all, is
words
it
of
even an
some
honest
words of
question?
encouragement, a pat on
Huh?
the back,
some uplifting speech.
Yeah. And if you look at Steven, he was really debonair, you know. The suit that he wore was nice as shit. Drinking his martinis. And then Shorty comes around, which the one thing I could always hate. I'm not a hater, but the one thing that always makes me look at things weird is saying that, you know, you're married to a guy. I'm being supportive as a friend. What we had was what we had. But don't be touching me like like I fucked up. Like, remember, dude was fucking dust for 5 years. Remember that. He was dust for 5 years.
And she went on and got some real dick.
Huh?
I said she moved on and got some real dick.
Yeah. She got the dick, so, you know, it's like, don't rub it in my face. But, and he goes save America Chavez, which is cool. I like the fact that they put Shamora Garoff in the movie. Even though most people don't know that he's a god in his own right. Literally, he's the god of chaos.
Which is chaos. And then again, this whole situation was marked by chaos when you think about it.
Well, you know, that's the whole thing with chaos magic.
Yeah.
You see what it does.
It's chaotic. And that's what people don't understand, that she's a practitioner, even in the comics, of the chaos magic and probability. Meaning, this is one aspect of her power. She can affect probability where, let's say somebody's trying to shoot her with a gun.
Uh-huh.
She's going basically through, and at a second, she's going through the probability of the multiverse or the omniverse, whatever you want to call it. Whatever outcome that's best for her is going to happen. But another version of her might get chopped. So she protects herself. So she literally can affect multiverses, which is pretty accurate. Now, the corruption of the book, as you can tell, the tips of her fingers were pitch black.
Ooh, wow.
The same as Agatha.
Yeah, pitch black.
It was Agatha all along.
You know, you couldn't let black
Agatha?
people get a hold of that song because even black people remixed it. like, damn, this is a bop. And what made it funny is that when Stephen Strange came to her looking for help, and she even had to admit, like, why don't you bring her here? Why don't you bring America here and I can protect her? And then Stephen, like, hold up. And then she said, I didn't tell you her name. You didn't tell me your name, did you? No.
Nope.
No. And see,
you can see the all shit look on her face when she said that.
Yeah. Shout out to Sudden's Hot Raw. I wonder if any of this is going to lead to a possible war between the mutants and superhumans. Avengers, so Scarlet Witch is a mutant by origin. Originally, till they fucked it all up, Marvel. I'm looking at you, Marvel. Talk to Marvel.
Isn't she?
For a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond. Plus.
Oh yeah. By the way, that shit's gonna make me watch that series all over again, man. That episode was good as shit. But
here's my question. First of all, isn't Scarlet Witch we're talking about here, right? Isn't she Magneto's daughter? Because she is the twin sibling.
I kind of don't want to talk about it because Marvel makes me sick. Marvel and DC sometimes can make you sick, and I just bought some comic books. She was originally, but then they recanted and said they're not. make up your fucking mind. It makes more sense as she was. Okay, you got
Well,
decades upon decades upon this shit. Sometimes not every retcon is a good one. I'll tell you that one. Not every retcon is a good one.
well,
You
I put
got
it to you like this because when they came out with the Spider-Man movie, the first Spider-Man movie, I was pissed. I picked the bit, and then I had to come to the realization that this is the MCU. It's a whole different universe. And do understand, Marvel didn't own the rights to. Well, they didn't own the rights, the license to use the word mutants or any mutants whatsoever. So that's
yeah,
why they had to switch things up.
yeah. And they had the
So it's colorful.
20th Century Fox owned the rights to say that in the comics.
Right.
And
So,
what made it real interesting.
Charles, I think you mute yourself by accident. Hey, Bitter, you still there?
I'm back here. It's
Right.
my whole thing. What's my opinion of DC Future's best state Batman? Batman and blackface. I gotta read it, so it might actually be good, but it's kind of funny. Comics, in a way, before we get back to this movie breakdown,
Mm-hmm.
comics in the modern day, right now as we speak, is suffering from a lack of creativity due to one, not having experienced writers write, not having people who love the continuity and fans of the material right, and three, not you're having too many SJWs put their fucking spin on shit.
oh my
Like,
God.
I'm not Starfire and her daughter's some frumpy old ugly bitch.
Oh my
Nobody
God. That
cares.
freaking book.
Charles?
Charlie, your chocolate factories went quiet.
The Oompas are on strike, man. They're getting flat. They just, lounging around now.
Myself out.
There he is. Okay, he's back.
I keep kicking myself out for some reason. By the way, Jesse, what's up? Here's my email. Email me, Jesse. But
I think you're doing it because
what
you're
makes
black.
what makes me sick of it is just that you're trying to color swap, gender swap, and sexual orientation swap characters that are old school characters. Superman should not be gay, or bisexual, which is not Clark Kent. It's his son, but his son. I'm really just looking at these traditions. They're really trying to fuck up traditional characters. Now,
Oh, dude, you don't know anything about the Superman book where he lost his powers and he was held in a foreign prison for like
yeah.
8 months. And he was getting his poop hole popped.
Because what?
He was getting his poop hole popped.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
you don't know about that?
Nope.
Yep, they came out with a book where Superman was gay and getting raped in prison every day in front of this general who'd like to see him get sodomized.
That's weird.
Yeah, very weird. But that's they done.
It's funny because this is the laziness of writing. This is what happens when English class is not important anymore. Gender politics is. So you're suffering from a lack of creativity, and this is what's happening to the MCU. You know why the MCU is so successful? Because they had previously successful stories from the comics. The Winter Soldier story with Captain America, successful. They brought back Bucky and nobody's seen it. The Infinity Gauntlet, which came out in the fucking 90s, which was brutal. You killed half the universe. You had
Civil War?
Civil War, at least the first one anyway, which was a major successful story. What do they have to follow now? Now they're going on their own shit, and you're seeing how shit is falling apart and becoming lackluster. And it really
It's tied
is.
down by a lot of it's tied down by political correctness. Let's not forget the corporatism.
And here it is, right? Here it is. You're in a comic book. A comic book. The comic books fought Hitler before we did. That's what helped galvanize us to get into the goddamn war.
You mean it wasn't Pearl Harbor?
Huh?
You mean it wasn't Pearl Harbor?
A little bit.
All right.
Pearl Harbor, but yet, you got to think. What galvanized this because that was your major media. A lot of news from Pearl Harbor didn't travel that well. So guess what? When you're reading comics about Hitler 10 years now, it's easy to fight a guy when you demonize him.
I remember reading comics about World War I, about the cruelties of that, and I was like, oh wow. I was shocked by the sheer brutality.
The same universe that fucking makes it count. I'd rather have Yahoo than have this Google shit. Google plain Jane looking ass. Anyway.
Wait a minute. What's your view on Hotmail, aka Outlook?
Nah.
I made it a point to have both.
Who's this? Hold on for a second. Hey Jonah, who's this? Who are you?
Hi, I'm new to the stream. I saw the title and thought I could hop on. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of caught the end of it. You, Charles, was talking about how they were kind of dropping the ball because they were staying on track with old stories, and now they kind of just doing whatever. Am I right in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. Now, I personally enjoyed the Doctor Strange movie, but after sitting down on it and thinking about it, I did expect more of a dance with the multiverse, right? Because they had so much playground to do with that. And then another issue I had with the movie was, hold on, what was it? Oh, the runtime. I think that movie would have did a lot better personally if given another like 30 to 40 minutes. I think they could have did a lot more to kind of like expand on the good parts to like flesh out like America Chavez and maybe dance in one more multiverse, if anything, tie it to the What If TV series they had going on.
They kind of did with the other Strange. They kind of did.
But that wasn't the same one because as you know, that one basically it was just a rock left in his universe, and also he had a cape. So
yeah, and it's crazy because they had Captain Carter. You think they could, unless that was the same universe or another one? Who knows?
Right. Yeah. I think they. Oh yeah, my bad. Continue.
I think really what happened is that they're not sure which fucking way they want to go, and unfortunately, they could have had the perfect opportunity to merge the 20th Century Fox and you gotta love it when you're driving loud ass dirt bike. You could have merged 20th Century Fox and Sony together very seamlessly with this one movie.
I think they were hinting at that with the Professor X. Now I don't think they should have put that in the trailer. I don't think they should have showed the Illuminati
I'm gonna tell you what since you said that. Hold on, because I know this is the police are coming too. God damn it. Hold on.
There go the police.
Yeah.
What happened, Daddy? No, nothing. Just there goes the police.
Oh yeah, I had to mute up because there was lights and sirens coming my way, and that's gonna only magnify for the people listening. So I'm gonna tell you certain things in certain movies they should have never shown, right?
All right.
Civil War would have been even better if they never showed you Spider-Man.
I mean, Spider-Man was part of the Civil War series, you know, and they kind of wanted to.
If they would have kept it out the trailer, it would have been much more of a bigger hit.
Okay, yeah. Out the trailer, I agree. Yeah. That would have been a great surprise. It's it's like a double-edged sword, right? They just got done buying or working out the rights to the Spider-Man with Sony, so they were really excited to the point where they literally shifted all of their movies in the what was that at the time? Was that phase 2 or 3?
That was phase. I think Spider-Man came in phase 3. Civil War.
I mean that Civil War. What was
Spider-Man's movie was phase 3, but he came in at phase 2.
Yeah, so yeah, they had shifted.
No. Wait, stop. All 4 Avengers. Well, yeah, all 4 Avengers movies except for 3 and 4. No, except for 4 came. 3 and 4 all came with this. No, 3 and 4 came in phase 4, but 1 was phase 1. 2, Age of Ultron was phase 2.
Correct.
Civil War was phase 3. And then you got the 2, Infinity War and Endgame was the end. That was phase 4.
Wait, I thought we're in phase 4 now after the Infinity
Saga.
Saga.
We're in phase 5.
We're in phase 5?
The first show,
yeah.
The first show, we're in phase 4. We're still in phase 4.
Okay, I was about to say, I could have
the first show to come up in phase 4.
Yeah, I could have sworn we was in phase 4 after the DCEU. I mean, after Infinity Saga, yeah.
The first anything done with Marvel's cinematic universe in phase 4 was WandaVision. That's the first show that was in phase 4.
Okay,
Google it. Just Google it, so not to prove anybody wrong, but just so we can all be on the same page.
Yeah, phase 4 started with the Disney Plus shows, and then Shang-Chi, right? Oh yeah, technically, no, I'm sorry. Black Widow got shifted over to phase 4. Technically, it was supposed to be in phase 3, but then they pushed that out for the what was it, Captain Marvel movie at the time to squeeze that in. So the Black Widow movie got pushed back into like phase 4. It was supposed to be phase 3. So technically, that was the start of phase 4. Was the Black Widow movie. And then we got, I think Shang-Chi was the next one after that, right?
Did you Google it to be sure?
Somebody Google it. I'm driving.
Yeah, somebody Google it. Right, and I'm getting gas right now. That's why I kept dropping in and out, because my headphones kept
But yeah, what were you saying? You were saying you wish they didn't show them in the trailer. I know for like business-wise, right? They had just worked out the deal. The announcement was out there in the public. So they were like, all right, you know what? To get more butts into the seat, because we know people love Spider-Man. Like, literally, Spider-Man is almost like the #1 superhero in terms of the Marvel universe, in terms of recognizability and all that. Yeah,
he's #1. There's not even no other heroes really close in Marvel.
Yeah. Like, in general, yeah. So they were like, you know what? This is going to make us more money, so put them in the trailer. So I get why they did it, but I do agree that would have been an amazing surprise if it wasn't in the trailer.
It's like...
So Kareem said we're still in phase 4.
Yeah, we're still in phase 4. Because WandaVerse started phase 4. I remember it. Because once you start getting the shows, those shows, that's phase 4.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be. I think they're running out of creativity. They need to go back to having fucking comic book writers write these goddamn movies.
I agree, because they have so much potential. Like, for example, right, with the multiverse thing, they throw in the incursions and the Illuminati and what was the other one? There was like one more storyline, I forget. I guess you could do like a Strange Academy, right? I think it's a recent storyline with Doctor Strange right now. Because they kind of Easter egged it at the end, you know, with everybody studying.
Yeah, they kind of got, but they got Clea, who's in the comics Doctor Strange's, you know,
future wife,
strange wife, you know. And it's kind of weird because, you know, look at how Thor: Love and Thunder is gonna be. It's more so they're more so trying to get ready for Jane Foster. I don't know if she's gonna permanently take over being Thor or what's gonna go on. So that's going to be an interesting state of event right there.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. Continue. My bad.
oh yeah, I know Neil Adams was the man. He always remembered me at every Comic-Con. Always sat down and talked to him, like very personal, very, very jovial man. And his wife was always with him at every con. I'm just looking at it like when you look at this movie, right? I didn't mind the gore. I didn't mind the way they were going, but the multiversal aspect was like, okay, this is a chance to bring so many people in. You could have brought fucking Miles Morales for all the fuck we know, but it's crazy because now if you have a Professor X, that means you have to have X-Men, and it's so much saying. I like the fact that they brought the homeboy who was in the Fantastic Four movies back. I'm glad they brought Patrick Stewart back. Even the Peggy Carter, I guess they were like, hey, you still trying to make a buck? Hey, I'll take it. But, I mean, they did Black Bolt dirty, and Black Bolt is extra powerful, though.
Yeah, it was like, since I have like knowledge of like the comics and stuff, I can understand the casual watcher when they watch that scene. They were like, why in the hell would Reed tell Wanda? Yeah, but you have to remember, right? Their Wanda in their universe was like before she got the Scarlet Witch powers, before she was literally a nexus point in the whole timeline, right? So they thought, oh, it's nothing. We can handle that, no problem. I mean, we killed Thanos, So him telling her that, he didn't think, she had the reality warping powers that we know as the audience. So when she pulled that off, and mind you, that was her doing that from a whole nother dimension. That was her being nerfed. And she was able to do that. So that's what I'd say to that. It's like, come on, Reed, man. Even then, you should be smart enough to take like the plan B and plan C that you normally do in the comics. Oh. Okay, did everybody leave?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And my son called me. Oh boy, it's like one thing I look at it, right? I'm looking at the story. They're going by Black Bolt. Reed Richards they even said he's the smartest man alive. Why the fuck would Reed Richards do that?
Right. I do understand. I get it. It's like, come on, Reed. Like you wouldn't do that, even if she was nerfed. Smart enough to just take the precaution of not telling her. But he was trying to be kind and ward her off. But
yeah,
I don't know what part you got cut
shit.
off on. I don't remember what part you got cut off on when I was talking, but I was basically saying that their Wanda was like pre-Scarlet Witch, so they didn't think that she had those reality warping powers that we know as the audience she has. And mind you, she did that from a whole nother multiverse, and that was her being nerfed.
Yeah, they thought she was reasonable. Reed thought she was reasonable.
Right, they're thinking the Wanda they know.
What makes it crazy that it didn't make sense, right? And I'm going to go step by step for people. They had prior knowledge of the Darkhold, right?
Oh, wait. Was that with Mordu? Mordu, right? He knew. Yeah, he knew. Yeah. You're right.
They knew. The whole Illuminati knew. That's why they killed their Doctor Strange. And what made it funny is that you kill your Doctor Strange over the Darkhold, and you knew how powerful it was, because really, at that point, if Doctor Strange didn't sacrifice himself, he could have killed them all. Why the fuck do you think this Doctor Strange was telling a fucking lie? makes sense.
I think it was cockiness, if I'm being honest. It was just they were cocky. Like they kind of showed it. It could have been written better. I agree, but you know, from what they gave in the movie, they just showed that they were cocky. And basically, after beating Thanos, which was basically a universal threat, right? They ain't. There's nothing to them. Nothing else can stop them. You know. And if I'm gonna go off of what Kevin Feige said, Captain Marvel is the strongest hero, right? So if Captain Marvel is there, if anything is supposed to go, you know, full left, they still have Captain Marvel there. So
I'm gonna put it to you this way: Captain Marvel is not the strongest person in that universe.
Agree. They were saying this chick was stronger than Thor.
Like, okay. Since we went back there, okay, it's time to get on my soapbox again. Fuck you, Marvel, because one, you had an Infinity War, Thanos beat the Hulk. Like, I really think Marvel doesn't know how to write a good Hulk. Man, where the current writer of the Hulk when you need him? You gave up the biggest rematch in cinema history, Hulk versus Thanos #2, and you didn't even let these niggas even come near each other. So what really kicks me in the ass is that you fucked up that point. Then you give us Professor Hulk, even though I'm a fan of Professor Hulk, but Professor Hulk wasn't a bitch either. But to go with Kareem's statement here, have you noticed all the guys who was in the Illuminati were cannon fodder, and the only people who could put up fights was Captain Carter and Captain Marvel?
Yeah. right, Captain Carter, right? The human, the human, the one with no powers.
The one who's the super. I mean, she's a super soldier, but it's funny.
Right, like that ain't it, Chief. Like
I really think about it. Like, you think Reed Richards couldn't make a fucking? Reed had the ultimate nullifier. He literally had a fucking water gun that scared the shit out of Galactus. You couldn't think of something like, wait a minute, in case we get another motherfucker like this, I'm inventing something. What the hell? Like, what in the hell? Like, you literally tell them, hey, Black Bolt can destroy you. What mouth? Oh, God. Oh, God. Really? Oh, God. And even in the comics, even now in the comics, Captain Marvel is not a big powerhouse.
Yeah, like we're talking about when they said that Captain Marvel was stronger than Thor, I'm like, so you're telling me Thor, the man who literally got blown up on a planet, like he was on a planet and it blew up and he survived. You're telling me that he is weaker than Captain Marvel? Are we serious right now?
I literally fought the Hulk. What do you think Captain Marvel could do against the Hulk? Like, really? Now, let's look at Thor in Endgame, because the best Thor was the last 30 minutes of Infinity War and the first 30 minutes of Endgame. That Thor would have killed the whole goddamn Avengers team by himself.
Agreed, 100%. He would have soloed.
From that hour of Infinity War and Endgame, that was Thor like not giving a fuck. Everything must go. The barbershop's open. We doing 2-for-1 fade. Step up and get yours. That's what that motherfucker was saying. So you telling me Captain Marvel, who had a poor showing against Thanos, where you had Thor solo Thanos twice, and she's the most, boy, stop that feminist shit.
Yeah, I do not agree with what the path they're taking with the feminist crap. I don't agree with it. 100% with you. Just stick to the comics, man. They got so much source material. It makes them money. It's like the source material makes you money. Look how successful the Infinity Saga was. Just stick with it.
Say what you want about DC. Say what you want about the DC extended universe. That fucking There are several movies. Man of Steel alone is shitting on the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And
Several movies.
what's funny? A lot of people, well, at the time, I know for a fact, a lot of people were saying they really didn't like Man of Steel. I thought that was the best Superman movie, personally. I think they were mad because of how many people died. I think that was one of the major
He can't
issues.
save everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not the Christopher Reeve. Even though I like the Christopher, he wasn't supposed to be Christopher Reeves. I mean, he was just Superman for like 2 hours ago. Just started. So yeah, things are gonna be hellish. Then on top of that, I got godlike power, and I'm fighting another being with the same godlike power. Yeah, people are gonna probably die.
Right, and not only that, he just learned his powers, and he's fighting against military-trained Kryptonians. Like, we're talking about generals and captains and lieutenants, like the top of the top in the military. And I was like, yes, people are going to die. Buildings are going to fall.
And I'm going to tell you one thing about it. Man of Steel is a fucking classic.
Agreed.
Man of Steel was a classic. I'm going to tell you the best movies that wasn't an Avengers movie, even though, if you really think about it, Civil War is Marvel Cinematic Universe's version of The Dark Knight.
Wait, The Dark Knight? You said The Dark Knight, right? It's their version of The Dark Knight?
It's their version of The Dark Knight. They never had a better movie than Civil War.
I say Winter Soldier.
I'm not Civil War, Winter Soldier. I'm sorry, Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I think Winter Soldier was like the most solid, well-rounded, all around. Good story, good acting.
Winter Soldier had it had the best action, the best choreography. The best choreography, best story.
And it wasn't a CGI nightmare.
There wasn't a CGI nightmare. You saw Captain America.
I'm sorry. Yeah, everything you saw happen, you could believe it. It was more reality based than a lot of the other movies.
Yeah, and it was crazy because that was their version of the Winter Soldier. The Dark Knight. Everything just flowed. It was so good you forgot at times you're watching a superhero movie. It was that good.
Yeah,
just
wasn't
like
that
the Dark
movie?
Knight, you forgot you're watching a superhero movie. When I look at Man of Steel, I hate to say it, Man of Steel was the story of that a lot of black men can actually sympathize with, because somehow you gotta find your way in this world. Hell, not even just black men, just men, period. But it's a story of you coming to age and realizing who you are and being happy with it. But when you look at that, you could tell it was good writing. When you look at the Snyder version of Justice League, good writing. And by the way, if I was Ray Fisher, I'd be pissed too to know how much of his fucking scenes they cut out.
Oh my gosh, man! The way he got butchered. Oh my! Because when at the time it was like, okay, maybe it's a few scenes here and there. When you watch that Zack Snyder cut, you're like, holy shit! It makes so much sense now. Because it was like, why is he here?
Daughter or something.
Yeah, it was like, why is he in the movie? When you watch the first Justice League, you're like, why is he here? And then now when you put those few scenes together and then it's thrown over to the Zack Snyder cut, you're like, oh my God, no wonder. I'd be mad as hell too. It was like, why was I even on the set?
I'll tell you one thing. If I was DC and all the traction, remember, HBO Max
is fire right now in terms of DC.
Would have lived or died off, either lived or died off of that fucking Justice League movie.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And they lived. They lived.
Matter of fact, he sparked that motherfucker.
Hey, was that the first, what was that? How many months out was HBO Max at the time when that movie came out?
Probably about 2 or 3, because I know they had Wonder Woman.
2 or 3 months, right?
Right, because they did the Wonder Woman 84, and that shit flopped.
Oh my God, that was bad.
That shit wasn't as good as it's supposed to be. And unfortunately, they were like, oh man, we didn't get the viewership we thought we were gonna get.
Right.
Their last gambit was actually that fucking Snyder cut of Justice League. And when people saw it, they were like, oh my God, what was that shit that we saw in the movie theater? Like, what the fuck was this? It
Yeah,
was
because
like the time I went to. It was
I
like
have
the
never
time I
seen
went to Oklahoma. Go ahead, Bay.
I was about to say I have never seen Superman be so vicious. I've seen Wonder Woman be vicious, in like
Mm-hmm.
in the animated movies. She
Right.
kills people in the animated movie, but in this one, her and Superman, the way he was bullying Steppenwolf.
I mean, he was giving.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, he was giving Lionel Richie's wife ass whoopings. I mean, he beat him up and down, putting all
Almost
kinds of foot in the
fell.
putting all
Stop!
kinds of
Stop!
foot in
He's
the
already dead.
boom. And they like, God damn, who should we help? I think we should stay right here. like I beat all kinds of ass whoopings, beat him up, beat him down his head, all kinds of foot in the ass. I mean, just
His
all
ear
kinds.
off.
Like,
With his horn.
yeah, broke his. And then the last scene was Steppenwolf when they threw when Aquaman skewered his ass on the trident, and then Superman punched him off, and Wonder Woman hits a backflip with the sword and fucking decapitates him. I was like, they were like, yeah, bring your ass to Earth, motherfucker. We got something for you.
I think
They
a
were like,
great
oh,
injustice would be if they don't let him make a part really a part 3 and 4, because if Snyder would have been able to do it the way he wanted to do it up and from the start of the movie up until they resurrected Superman, that'd have been part 1.
yeah.
And then the rest would have been part 2, and then you would have had a 4-part movie series that would have put DC right up there with Marvel.
I'm gonna tell you what, and I know people may not agree, but you probably will once you hear it or think about it. If they give Snyder the reins of the movie universe, Marvel's done.
Yeah, I was thinking like the Infinity Saga level event that could happen in DC that got me into the DC universe was Blackest Night. That is one of the realest events I've ever read. Now, mind you, I think a friend introduced me to comics and said, "Yo, just read this." Right? I read it. The first 3 to 5 pages is popping off. I was like, "Oh my!" Like, "Oh my!" Like that series right there, and it was like the whole collection of all the volumes at the time. So I was just reading all through it.
Yeah.
Great writing, great action, great story. It was just like, yo, this is nuts.
I'm gonna tell you the one event that they had that they really Infinite Crisis was good as shit.
That was a good one too.
I wish DC dropped the ball with Darkseid War. That could have been.
I think one of the better ones too was what was it? One of the better ones was what was that? What was that one called? Hold on, let me think about it. I had just had it in my head. Oh, when they revamped the New 52, like when New 52 wasn't going well, and then they did the crossover with the Watchmen, that was excellent. I forgot what that event was called. I forgot the name of that event. Yeah, I forgot the name of that event, but it was good.
You're talking about what is it? This Watch Hour or something like that, or Watch Tower or something. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I think Batman found out Laughing Man died, and he left a clue, and then he figured out that they lost their memories and stuff. I was like, oh my god! Yeah. Shout out to Jeff Jones for coming in and saving DC at that point, because the New 52 was definitely. I think they had maybe 2 of the good ones. Rest in peace to Static Shock.
New 52 had some good stories. They had Superman, Wonder Woman. They had Batman, Court of Owls.
I was about to say, was that Court of Owls? Yeah.
Yep. People forget that's fucking New 52. You had the new Superman. You literally had Superman. I like the fact that Aquaman was actually the best book for a couple of months. It topped the charts for a minute.
Aquaman was
New 52, the Wildcats was pretty good. I like the fact that they merged the Wild.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. That's true. Yep.
Somebody grilling. God damn, I'm about to be somebody's cousin. Hey, Kareem, how you doing? Oh, it was Doomsday Clock. Yes, Yes, it is. Doomsday Clock. Thanks, Alongo.
Yeah,
And hey, girl. Troll
oh,
Bentley said, "Which of the DC?" Hey, girl.
hey, what's up, everyone? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
All right, I could go. I don't want to interrupt you.
I was saying, I was reading. What should the DCEU? What DCE should do is a live action version of the Young Titans, where they use MCU format of individual origin movies. Here's the problem. DC's dark, and Marvel can be a bit on the campy side. This is the reason why I'm kind of like the Doctor Strange movie, where there were ramifications and people died in it. So I think Titans was a good show, but at the same time, they should incorporate shows which says our universe. But you also have to remember what the DC shows on the CW did, and showed you that each show that DC did, or historically, like Wonder Woman 70, what was it, 76, or Batman 68, Wonder Woman 77, Superman 79, or what is it, either 79 or 83, I forget what they call it in the comics. The Flash show. Notice they said these are all a multiverse. So if they would have actually picked up on that one, there's so many people, which they're doing now, because remember, they got Michael Keaton back playing Batman again. So he's supposed to be in the Flash movie. Hopefully the guy who plays the Flash doesn't fuck it up with another fight. Shit. So it can work. Yep, I want to see Icon and Rocket on the screen. But you know what's going to be really funny, Donnie Mac, is that are black people going to be really ready for a very conservative black man with the powers of Superman? That's going to be a good tale to tell. But go ahead, Kareem, you just got here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would love to see that. And also, did you just hear that they canceled Naomi? That DC I guess she was the black version of Clark Kent or whatever. Anyway, they canceled that program. But my feelings on Doctor Strange, I think it was just maybe like a B, maybe a C plus. I didn't think it was that great. A lot of plot holes, I was like, okay, I was ready for a Doctor Strange to be the hero. He wasn't a hero. It was Wanda movie. I don't understand why they just didn't make it Wanda versus Doctor Strange, or just give her her own movie. Like, it's stupid that they do this, that they do like a bait and switch.
I think. Go ahead, I'm finished. Go ahead, finish.
And I knew it, and I knew it because I was like, from seeing the trailers, I was like, okay, they look like they're gonna prop up Wanda. They're gonna prop up Wanda and make him like a sidekick in this movie. Because even from the beginning, they killed off Doctor Strange like 2 times. The 6 Earth 3 4 whatever Doctor Strange, whatever the number Doctor Strange. I don't even understand what the number was because I even get it. The Doctor Strange from that universe, they killed him off in the first beginning. Then they killed off. They showed us killing off the Doctor Strange that was a part of that Illuminati. Like, they showed Doctor Strange dying, but they never showed Wanda dying. I wonder why they didn't do that.
And it's crazy because even with the
Wanda
Darkhold,
didn't
right?
die.
Yeah.
No, she didn't. She did not die. They
Think
alluded
about
to
it.
her dying, but she did not. They didn't show it, her dying. We know she ain't died because she got a show coming out.
Here's the crazy part, right?
And he signed a new contract too.
Yeah. Here's the crazy part, right? There was no, what's the word I'm looking for? There was no consequence for Wanda's action. They tried to make her a tragic hero when she's just a straight up villain. You literally searched the multiverse willing to kill a girl for her abilities that she didn't even know what they were. And instead of actually getting help and sorting out your problems, but nobody ever took consideration of how ill and how sickly she really is in the mind, that she fell in love with a goddamn robot.
Right.
You know
And,
what?
and
I think what it was, I think the lesson from that movie was that Wanda, is, as unstoppable as she thought that she eventually wound up punishing herself.
Hmm.
That's
It's
the
Yoda.
gynocracy.
Yep,
you're
that's
so
definitely the
right.
gynocracy, because once you get what you wanted all the time, once you get it, now you feel shitty about it because you don't have it. Think about it.
Plus,
You get
who was
all
going to
this,
stop her? She was too strong.
and by the way, it's kind of weird. I understand. Like, they made Wong Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on Wong, man. I thought he was going to be
Well,
more
you know, he
powerful.
was dusted.
Yeah,
Doctor
he was.
Strange was dusted, so somebody had to be the Sorcerer Supreme.
And he
Oh
Yeah,
was
I
wait, all right.
understand him being Sorcerer Supreme for being dusted,
he
and it's
was
kind of funny
creepy.
because it's like, it's a lot of plot holes that people do not understand. It's like, right now, who was the ruler of Wakanda when Black Panther was gone? Was it his sister, his mother, Okoye?
We don't know. I think there wasn't there like a civil war happening in Wakanda for leadership. I think it was briefly referenced in the time skip in what was that in Endgame? I think it was
Uh,
briefly referenced in the when they had the holograms up talking through.
yeah, it might have been.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
know it was briefly referenced.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Vision was actually, I think he was. What the fuck happened to Vision in the middle of WandaVerse? I think he just disappeared or some shit, or just dissolved.
Yeah, I think he got his memories back, but it was in another body. Right. It was in that I forget what the hell they called that body. But it was just White Vision, right? So White Vision got the memories and then he kind of went off to like learn about himself, I think. Something like that.
Here's the
Okoye, Okoye was what's her name? Michonne was the
yeah,
leader of Wakanda at the time during the blip. She was the leader
probably.
because what's her name was gone. Shuri was gone.
Oh yeah, sure he was gone. You're right. Yeah. She sure
Yeah,
did show up in the
Michonne.
people that got dusted. Yep,
And
you're
by
right.
the way, and by the way, can we get a fucking Black Panther who's the scientist?
Matter of fact, man, when they did the
Hey,
multiverse, I thought this was the perfect time to clean up all the mistakes. So, for example, all the feedback of why do you keep killing off your villains in one movie? Uh, a way to fix up all the mistakes they made in the TV shows and stuff. They could have like rearranged to get Black Panther back in with a new casting of him. They
Yeah,
Man,
well,
when I
understand it's not
man,
over.
listen,
It's
I
not
was kind of
over
sick to my stomach
because
they
the
did it.
Doctor
I was like,
Strange
this is the
from
perfect opportunity to switch it up. Bring
they
back
gonna
Black Panther because
trust me.
us black
They
people want
gonna
him back
do
at
it.
the very least. Don't give us the spinoff of the people we don't care about. No offense to them, but like they could have did so much with it.
Trust me, they're going to do it because you got the third eye Doctor Strange who took over Earth 616 Doctor Strange. Plus, you have to bring in the X-Men. You have to bring in the Fantastic Four. I don't think the whole multi-dimensional thing is over because do remember that Strange is trying to save his collapsing universe where
yeah,
really the Illuminati, this is where they are. They're in the collapsing universe with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. And I understand that Reed is dead, but you can easily bring them back. I mean,
yeah.
how
I
else do
mean,
you think we're going to get a new casting for Black Panther? You can't just leave them dead and pass on the mantle. So it's
yeah,
going to
because
happen.
they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. I mean, we all love Chadwick Boseman. I think he was a wonderful actor, but you have to recast T'Challa. Sherry's character is not enough to carry that character. Sorry. It's like, I did enjoy Jane Foster as Thor. That was a good run. What made it work was the writing and that it actually went back into the mythos of Thor. But eventually, guess what happened? She had to get that goddamn hammer up. And I look at it, right? and I'm gonna go back to the DCEU for a second. You know what DC could have done if they kept going the Snyderverse version? Remember the end credit scene of Lex Luthor and Deathstroke?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, I thought somebody left. But what if they would have had came out the second Justice League movie, Justice League versus the Injustice League? Something Marvel hasn't done, and that would have been fire. But it's the movies are a representation of the comics. When you got something going good, it always fucks it up.
Well, think about it. You can't do good versus bad in Marvel unless you create secret wars.
Yeah.
All right, you have to create. In order to do secret wars, you're gonna need the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Other than that, you're wasting time and wasting money.
Yeah. Who played big roles in that shit too, by the way. And that's when, and actually, if you remember Secret Wars, that's where Spider-Man gets the symbiote, which would have made sense.
Here's another thing. Here's another point to touch on concerning all of that. If you look at what's been going, if you look at what they did on the Disney Plus shows, what was the main point? What was the main crux of all of those shows, especially What If? What If and Loki? What were they playing with?
They were playing with the multiverse.
Multiverse, yep, multiverse and time, but mainly the multiverse. And now you get this movie, the Multiverse of Madness. You got the Spider-Man movie. So they're already setting you up for the whole multiverse. Here come the flood of new characters scenario already, which is beautiful. So I trust Kevin Feige.
In Feige we trust.
Yeah.
I look at it like Injustice. Let me put it to you this way, Trey. The Injustice comic book was some of the best goddamn writing and storytelling in the last 5 years. The movie, not so much. Loki was fired, to be honest. It was better, but I keep running into this trope. Loki's a god, right? He literally fights the god of thunder. And remember, Thor is not only the god of thunder, he's also the god of strength.
Well, Loki really he's a frost giant.
He's a frost giant.
Right.
Think about it. Loki losing to a female version of himself. How?
Well, she looked older. I take that back. I wouldn't say she was older, but I would say she's definitely more skilled than him because do keep in mind, she had been jumping through dimensions in time ever since she was a little girl.
And it's like, wait a minute. You were a little girl, but here's the question. I've been literally the god of fucking mischief for 1,500 years. I was literally the son of Lawfully of the Frost Giants and Odin the Allfather. And how do you
her too. You forget they have the same origin. They just took different paths.
It's just that here's the part that kind of makes it faulty. Loki had formal teaching because she's jumping from time to time. She doesn't have the formal teaching of Loki.
Yeah, I remember.
Don't need it. She has experience. She has on-the-job training. Literally on-the-job training because she spent her whole life avoiding the time police.
Wait a minute.
Right. Plus, he's the Avenger Loki. It's not the Loki we know after. It's not the Loki we know after. What was the Thor movie? What was the third one?
Ragnarok.
Yeah, it's not the Loki from Ragnarok. Where he had all this training, he got his stuff together. and then he ended up dying to Thanos. He only got a snapshot of all of that coming into his TV show because he did when he got handcuffed.
You got to think about it, right? What made it funnier is that he still has 1,500 years of experience. And you're literally.
You keep saying that, but you have to remember they're both the same age.
And it's like they're the same age.
Right, and she's a survivor too, because she's been dipping off the TVA. I would think dodging the TVA is much more experienced.
And I'm
much more experienced than playing tricks on Thor for 1,500 years.
I'm just looking at it like there is no way with the lack of formal experience. I can see you have some ability, but like you've been running from fucking time cops. I've been fighting literally the god of fucking strength.
I don't know. These time cops literally wiped out whole universes with one grenade. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, do understand it ain't like him and Thor were fighting to the death all the time. I mean, they was fighting like brothers. You know, you only give your brother 30% strength.
Not till you try to actually kill him like Loki, and he's like, "Fuck this, thunderbolt up your ass."
Yeah, but you still give him 30% of electricity just to sit your ass down shock. Not like he was fighting Hela.
Like that's your sister, but you gotta kill that bitch. Fuck that. Choke that motherfucker.
Now, I had to admit, Loki, I'm not discrediting Loki because that's my boy. He does know how to fight. He's smart, but like I was saying, they're both the same age. They both have different experiences. Yes, he has formal training in combat and everything, but she has on-the-job training in combat, stealth, intelligence, reading scenarios. Experience is the best teacher.
Well, so does Loki.
I can give her that lean.
So does Loki, but I don't think she's more powerful. I'm just like, you can have all the on-the-job training you want. Are you gonna fight? Are you still gonna be capable?
Oh, he wasn't trying to kill her either. That's the real key.
Right. I just think our Loki is. I think she's smarter than our Loki because of the life that she's led, especially in what they were trying to do. She had way more experience than all that time jumping and travel and all that shit than Loki could ever muster. I mean, you see what happened when she told him to sit down and be quiet and keep your head down, but instead he wanted to go ahead and make a public spectacle of himself, and what wound up happening? They got kicked off.
Here's the crazy part. Here's the other crazy part I just did not like. How the fuck is it that when it came to fighting the time cops, you're still a god. She can take on 4 or 5 of them at a time, and Loki barely holding his own against 1 or 2.
What was that? The finale? Which episode are you talking about? I'm trying to remember.
Anytime they're fighting people, she's taking on 3, 4 at a time, and he barely holds his own with 2.
I think on the train, wasn't he drunk on the train? So he wasn't really all there, if I remember correctly, in that fight. Wasn't he drinking on the train and causing a commotion?
Yeah, but at the same time, to answer Charles's question, do understand, taking it back, she's been fighting these guys for over 1,500 years. She knows their ways. She knows their training ways, their training maneuvers, what they're going to go for first, second, third. She knows all their maneuvers. Loki, I mean, you see, he got popped in the face. I bet you she wouldn't have got popped in the face because she knew the first thing they probably would have went for was a headshot with that line.
I understand Sophie's superpower. It's called feminism, but that's what it's called. It's called some down-hole bullshit.
All right. I mean,
I still enjoyed the show, but I understand where you're coming from.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Somebody got there on YouTube.
That wasn't me. Matter of fact, let me go to my computer. I'm coming back on my computer. So
all right. I said, don't get me wrong. I'm okay seen some trained fighters like a Wonder Woman or Black Widow kick a little bit of ass against even ordinary guys. Ordinary guys, I could get that. Wonder Woman, she has formal training, prodigious fighter, super strength. I get it. Speed 2. Black Widow, prodigious fighter, kick ass. Ordinary people, okay, I should expect that. But when when she's going against fucking your equal and you're get the fuck out of here. Shout out to Raw's hot son. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, donate. What made me laugh about Loki is that in the movie, people were being killed for the Infinity Stones while the TDA was using them as paperweights. Yeah. Yeah, that was fucked up. My man got a picture of God. Oh man. Oh man.
I think the one thing that bothered me about Loki in his series was that he wasn't a killer like he was in Thor and in the first Avengers. But I think that just like with Thor, as far as his transformation, the more time that they spent around humans and humanity, the more they began to respect life instead of just seeing us as petty little insects. You know, I mean, look at how much, I mean, like Thor Ragnarok, you can see how much humanity had affected him, especially when he stopped trying to live up to his father's expectations. He became more of himself, a fucking frat boy.
Yeah, that's what Thor really is. I think that was the funniest episode of What If. And by the way, What If actually showed you if Captain Marvel went up against Thor. Thor was handling it. He whooped her ass. And actually embarrassed her and left the fucking. He actually left the hammer on top of her and just walked around drinking beer.
Like, bitch, sit your ass down.
So she's not the
your powers are manufactured. I'm naturally like this.
But I'm gonna tell you, one motherfucker I would never like to go up against, and that What If series was fucking Killmonger was the shit.
If he had powers. Oh, you talking about in What If? Yeah. Imagine if he had powers.
Oh my God. Well, you know if you watch Young Justice, they basically got Killmonger with Kryptonian powers.
Holy shit! I just thought about something. What if Michael B. Jordan became the new Black Panther from another universe with all of that goddamn controversy and conflict in Earth 616 concerning him?
That would be interesting. That would be very much interesting.
I would love to see that, where he was a different man, where he wasn't
a mercenary.
Like that.
Yeah. Because it's funny because if you think about it, Killmonger was the equivalent of a Black Ops kind of guy, like a Delta Force or SEAL Team 6 type of character. And technically he could drink from that heart-shaped herb and absorb the powers of the Black Panther.
Well, anybody could, but I think
in the comics,
way to replace.
In the comics, only the royal family blood could. Everybody else would die from it.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's bullshit. No, but I think the only way it would work where they transition Michael B. Jordan to Black Panther is if they went to another universe and his father had never betrayed Wakanda. If he was raised in Wakanda and he became Black Panther, and be like, well, what about T'Challa? Be like, to who? Who the fuck is a T'Challa? We got a T'Challa in here. T'Challa, what's the last name? Babuku? T'Challa Babuku.
Yeah.
No T'Challa Babuku here.
Like, what the fuck's a T'Challa?
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Is it like a sandwich or something?
Yeah, like shit. Sound like something with some hots on it. Like it's kind of funny because what's that?
It just dawned on me. With the collapsing universe in the other Doctor Strange universe,
it would be fucked up if he brought the remaining heroes to Earth 616.
See, that would be actually called good writing.
That way you get your Fantastic Four. I don't know what you're gonna do about Reed Richards, but you get your Fantastic Four, you get your X-Men, and you get you a new Black Panther.
And it's funny because they never said which Reed Richards died.
Ooh, and a new Iron Man.
Yeah.
And a brand new Captain America.
Yeah. Like, I'm still waiting for Isaiah Bradley. Somebody give me an Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley. Oh, you mean the first Captain, no, the second Captain America.
Yeah. If you're listening, Marvel, call me. You could put the hairpiece on me and everything, and I don't mind working out for 6 straight months. And remember, I'm in Baltimore anyway. That's where super soldiers come from. So call me, Marvel. Let's make a deal.
Charles, how's your health, by the way? How's your health, by the way?
That's great. I'm pretty much damn near back in the normal levels. It's funny because just by changing what I ate brought that shit significantly down from 560 down to 130.
That's all it takes.
Just for the lift, even though I do need to lift weights today.
Don't be like Kevin Samuels.
Go out coming and going, man. Oh yeah, I guess I'm trying to live a long life.
Back to this movie. Back to this movie. America Chavez. I get that she's getting her own series and everything and whatnot, but the character, I had no interest in her character. Like at all. I didn't even care really too much about her storyline. So when the series come out, I know I'm not going to care about it like I care about Moon Knight. So I don't know what to place on her. She's just, I don't know. To me, she's like, what's her name? Childish Gambino. You're just in it to be in it.
Yeah. And it's funny because, America Chavez is going to be the next Disney princess. They're really banking hard on Camilla Khan, Miss Marvel, coming up too when they have the Marvels movie, I believe, later this year. It's going to be funny and interesting because if you notice, a lot of female-based movies are coming out this year or shows when it comes to Marvel. I have no problem with it, but as long as they don't be great at the expense of men. You get what I'm saying? And I hope it doesn't be tropey about that. Like, okay, let them be great because they're just great characters. Once it starts to be tropey, that's when it becomes like unbearable. Like, oh my God, this shit sucks. Like, I got to make the man feel small, especially when they come out with the She-Hulk series, and she's making every guy around her uncomfortable because she got super strength. Oh God, we already know. And by the way, don't be surprised if they use her to replace the Hulk. So don't be surprised.
Yeah, I didn't like what they did with Hulk in Endgame.
Yeah, that was it's a waste of a good character. Like, Marvel just needs to stop. You get them right in the comics, but you can't get them right in a movie. Pick a struggle.
I just work here.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I be looking at Marvel movies. I'll be like, God bless them. God bless them. God bless them. Like, this shit here. Hold on. It's like when I look at these next movies, you got She-Hulk, you got the Marvels. I wonder what they're gonna do with Monica Rambeau, aka fine ass Tiana Purse. God damn, that's a fine woman right there.
Well, from what I understand, she's getting replaced. She's replacing Brie Larson
Yeah.
because she's too controversial. What's her name? Bob Chapek. Now that he's in charge, he's trying to be apolitical. And right now, I don't know if you know, but he made that video. What it was, he wanted to be apolitical, but you have factions in Disney that are LGBT, fucking SJW motherfuckers in there. And when Disney pulled out of the teaching kids how to be gay bill, they got upset. So the corporate, Bob Chapek's boss, the board, they didn't want the negative press. So he like, all right, fuck it, I'll cave to their demands. And now he see that they've caught those people, their decision have cost Disney hundreds of millions of dollars, not just in tax revenue, okay, but also in all types of breaks, all types of tax breaks and whatnot that Disney was getting down there in Florida. They lost all of that because they used to own Orlando, but now all of a sudden now they don't. They voted to make Disney pay what everybody else is supposed to pay that owns a business down there. So now that that's happened, there, of course, if you're the board of directors and you're losing money and you made this stupid decision, well, you're going to have Bob Chapek clean the mess up. So he was already in the process of moving Brie Larson out of Marvel Studios. Yeah. So now they're really going to have to do it. So no worries there.
Yeah, that is very true, by the way. That is very, because a lot of times we look at Brie and other people and we're like, God damn, can you shut the fuck?
Be a good fucking Captain Marvel. And I think it's like when you see into that feminism stuff, people go to the movies to escape a lot of that politicalism. Like you don't care if the character's gay as long as it's a good character. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Think of the Deadpool movie. You got a lot of his violence, his quirks. Yeah, he's pansexual and he's crazy, but he's a whimsical character. He's a very lovable character, if you really want to say it. But
Loki?
Ryan Reynolds to play Deadpool exactly the way he's in the comics. What's up, Ed?
Be sucking dick, but I think he just
what's up?
But notice it's not the main point of the character. It's not the main point of the character.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Edward Anderson up here. What's up, Ed? Shout out to Rocket King.
No, what's up, man? What's up, man? I don't know. Spoiler talk or y'all talking? I see y'all talking Disney business. Disney fucking up.
Oh, we doing spoiler talk too. We just, how these things go. They morph.
Yeah, that's like I don't get it. Like I don't know what money they're trying to get in front of. With just taking all of these strong swings at the bat for what? Like, so yeah, Disney messed that up for no reason. And I'm gonna keep it real. It's almost like I see a little bit of consequences, but I don't see a lot of business consequences for them doing that. Like I'm waiting for Disney to go through an ESPN metamorphosis where they just start getting rid of motherfuckers. That's on that.
Don't worry, it's coming. It's
because
in the corporate office.
Yeah, because that's a long-term hit that they're going to take. That's revenue they didn't have to pay, they didn't have to do for what? Because they wanted to take a stand. I'm like, who made that decision to say, okay, Disney needs to go this way. They should have just shut up about it.
It
Honestly,
was the board.
I don't.
Bob Chapek was quiet, but it was the board. The board of directors made him do that.
You mean like the board
Crazy
board?
about the board of
Yeah, the
directors.
board of directors for Disney. They made him do that shit. They made him cave to the employees of Disney, those SJW alphabet people. They made him cave. So he
Oh,
went
but
ahead and
that's
caved. They told him just how much money they getting ready to lose. You
oh,
know
well,
the
that's
same.
on them. Then only people that can hold the board accountable are the people that have big pieces of the shareholders, the big
Yeah,
pieces of the own stock.
trust me,
Uh,
they were
Yeah,
very upset about that Captain Marvel movie because it didn't make the genuine money that they reported, that $1 billion. Because I can take it back. Revisionist history is very, very keen. Because when I went to the theater to go see it on a Friday night, it was only 4 people in the theater. But keep in mind, when I went to buy my ticket online, not all of them, but a majority, I'd say 90% of the seats were sold out. And this was going on across the country, where people on Twitter was sharing videos and pictures of an empty theater. They was like, why is the seat sold out, but there's nobody here? And they ran through this is what they did. They ran the ticket sales, all these group ticket sales bought in 25 blocks each, 25 to 75 blocks each, was all ran through Fandango. The guy who owns Fandango used to work for Disney. Him and Bob Iger are friends. So you looking at a scam that went on as far as that Captain Marvel movie.
yeah, yeah. I mean, wow, that's. Yeah, for what? I mean, for what? It's like when you're really gonna play the woke game, that's a long term game anyway. So why are you taking all these swings at the bat? What you want to do is do a whole bunch of like what they did with Elizabeth Olsen and Wanda. You want to do a whole bunch of slow burns, and then that way people will accept it more. But they're taking way too many swings at the bat, which is really going to push people out. Also, you're right, because I haven't seen Brie Larson. And basically, what they need to do is they need to go ahead and just get Rogue in there and get Rogue to snatch her fucking powers, and then that be her character arc. Let that be done with it. That's really what they need to do with Captain Marvel and just move on. But whatever.
What the Captain
Yeah,
Marvel
you know what I
thing
mean?
is, what the Captain Marvel thing is like where they really fucked up is that somebody should have put a gag order on Brie Larson a long time ago,
Yes.
because you could have
Well, that
fucked
was
up.
during the whole Me Too movement, so that would have been looked at as misogyny.
Yeah. By the way, Bay Edward, say hi to Sharon. Wave hi, Sharon.
Hello, Sharon.
Hey, what's up?
Did you bring a pot roast?
Huh?
Did you bring a pot roast?
He said that I bring up pot.
Shit,
Oh
niggas
my
is hungry.
He said niggas is hungry. Yeah.
Shit,
They'll
I'm
eat
going
it
to
for
go
a minute.
around now. I'm going to go and ground now. Shit.
Hey, go
But
to Corral.
they really should have, because go ahead.
But what happens is that people they should have learned a lesson from the comics as well. There are certain subjects people don't mind once in a while that's political, but people go to read comics and watch the movies to escape that type of shit. And now what really happened was you alienated a lot of your fans. It's just like when they said, what was the who said what they say about this movie's for women and all that shit for that Charlie's Angel shit and bomb. You don't do that because you got like real fans or whatever fans. Nobody said, well, we're against LGBT characters. No, it's just you don't make good ones. Like when you like
But
write up
this is the crazy part about the Charlie's Angels thing. And I said this with video games. So if you're supposedly making the argument is you don't want women to be exploited, fine. But then you're saying that you want you want lesbian women to be able to watch it. So by definition, women like attractive women, whether they're hetero or lesbian. So that makes no sense for you to say that. So if somebody says there needs to be a certain way you make the Charlie's Angels thing in order for it to come off to a broad audience, you can't make the argument that we don't need to do that because F the dudes. But then at the same time say we need to make stuff for a broader audience. See, that doesn't make sense. That's that argument that they try to pay attention to. They use that to get their way. And what made it so bad is when you're a director and you're doing that, because I'm like, you put your whole imagine if what's her name, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, what's her name? I'm forgetting. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
You
you
mean
talking
Angelina
about
Jolie?
Angelina Jolie? Yeah,
Or you
Angelina
talking about the
Jolie.
woman who made the movie? Are you
No.
talking about Angelina Jolie or the chick who remade Charlie's Angels?
Hey, when she got into direct, no,
You're
she
working out.
didn't. But I'm saying when she started directing stuff, when she started directing movies, imagine if she did that. Basically, like her movie to be successful, so she can get other projects. But what Elizabeth Banks did was basically take that capital that she built up, because it ain't like she's that strong of an actress as far as box office. She probably built that up on the strength of networking and other stuff. You basically blew that for what? And then you
You know
set
what?
other women back.
Yeah,
You know
because
what killed me about that Charlie's Angels movie? How she sat up there and this isn't for men and all of this stuff. Here's the problem with when you go woke, you go broke. When you make shit for women like that, trying to replace the men or try to make the women like men, women don't like that shit.
No, they
really,
don't.
Right. The Ghostbusters 2016 flop. Her Charlie's Angels movie flop. As far as I'm concerned, Captain Marvel flop. Hell, even Black Widow, it barely survived, only based on the strength of the character. But the movie was
yeah,
terrible.
Say
yeah.
what you want about Shonda Rhimes. At the end of the day, with Shonda Rhimes, she say, "I'm gonna do what I want to do, but you all will be paid." As far as the people to give her money, you will be paid multiple times over if you let me do what I want. These other folks don't do that. I don't like her shit, but at least she pays attention to the money. None of them other ones do that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it this way, right? When you think about it, guess what movie Marvel was trying to catch up with Captain Marvel? The first Wonder Woman movie, which was a fucking blockbuster. How is it that you had less feminism in a fucking movie about a warrior princess than Captain Marvel? Get the complete other the fuck out of here.
Hell, if you
And
ask me,
notice,
Wonder Woman was a real feminist movie. That was a real feminist movie because she was fit, feminine, and friendly and could whoop your ass.
something low here. But it's funny because they had a budget where they could have really made that happen. They had a real good budget for that, and it's like you missed the ball saying all that crazy stuff when it's like, okay, shut your mouth, you're messing up the money. And then what really sealed the deal, none of the actors or actresses like her.
Nor did they promote the movie.
No, they didn't. Like, think about it. Did you see the video with her and Chris Hemsworth and Don Cheadle?
I was just about to say that. Did you see the interviews that they had?
Oh my God. He was like, what I tell you about touching?
Chris Hemsworth looked like he wanted to kick her ass. Don Cheadle was enjoying every minute of it. Every minute of it.
They couldn't stand her for something. Like, she didn't
Even
get
your
it.
boy
It's like,
couldn't stand her. Jeremy Renner. Did you see the interview that they did?
no, what did Jeremy Renner do?
They had her on the interview circuit with him too, and she was talking about. They was asking about
her being a role model, and she was like, well, I try to be a role model by being inspiring and all of that fucking SJW shit. And Jeremy Renner was sitting there like, this bitch is so full of shit. And then he said, hey, I don't try to be a role model. I just live my life. I live a good life. I lead by example. If people follow my life, they know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need to give speeches or anything like that. I just try to be a good person.
Yeah.
And she was sitting there looking stupid.
When you look at guys like that, and Jeremy Renner, he's a lot of the people, if you notice when you get those Marvel and DC movies, did you notice how much fun that, for example, for Justice League, how much fun and how much love every time you seen a picture of them, everybody smiling, enjoying their time with each other. Like, think about it. You see that one picture that became a meme where you have who's the guy who plays Aquaman? What's his name?
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, when Jason Momoa is sneaking up on Henry Cavill, that's the relationship that a lot of the guys in Marvel and DC, the actresses and actors have with each other. And it's like you get this one bitch and you're like, oh my God, nobody likes you. It's like
they hate her guts. They said she was a real bitch on the set.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's like any other movie that's a superhero movie, everybody loves each other on set. They even hang around each other on set. Hell, they go out drink. They even said that the cast of Justice League went out drinking. And they were all drunk for one shot. Everybody.
They had to stop Ezra Miller from kicking a woman's ass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but it was funny because it like, think about it. If Zack Snyder didn't have to deal with the suicide of his daughter, unfortunately, that movie would have been crazy excellent. And thank God we actually had fans showed enough support to bring out the Snyder cut. But that whole Brie Larson thing, she just showed the real ugly side of shit.
Well, the beauty of it, as far as with DC is concerned, is that Discovery now owns Warner Brothers. So if you know that, like, they came out, of course, with that Batman movie, the only bad decision that they made was casting what's that guy's name? The guy who played Batman.
Oh, you're talking about a emo guy,
Edward Patterson or whatever.
Patterson,
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that was a bad casting choice because they were thinking that the Twilight crowd would transition over to the Batman crowd, but of course that didn't happen. But from what I understand, they're rebuilding the DC universe around him. This is why you're going to get Michael Keaton. They're rebuilding the DC universe around that Batman because they're going to have to recast Superman because Henry Cavill is tired of the bullshit that he was going through with Warner Brothers. That's why he quit the first time. But he came back to finish Zack Snyder's movie because he believed in what Zack Snyder was doing.
Yeah, and he actually told him, I'm ready to do a Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, and they fucked it up.
I don't know what Henry Cavill, if he quits. I mean, trust me, I would have. You know what fucked up? I like Ben Affleck's Batman. I think they should have gave him his own movie.
Yep. He was out. He quit too because of all the turmoil going on with Warner Brothers.
Yeah. See, Warner Brothers need to have their own separate studio like Marvel has its studio. And they just need to have. I would just put Zack Snyder in charge of it. If Zack Snyder actually was in control of the studio, I think that I think Affleck will come back.
It's a possibility.
You had an older, grittier Batman. It made sense. And you have like all these established villains that he's been going through. So why not give it a shot? What else do you got to lose?
You got Jason Momoa. His Aquaman was $1 billion movie. Come on, you got to make something happen because if you don't, you're gonna have to see it. But now I want to see what Marvel's gonna do because now, like you and Kareem said, Scarlet Witch is assumed dead, but miraculously she's gonna come back all good, and everybody's gonna forget about the millions of people, the tons of people she killed. Make that make sense?
With chaos magic, I don't believe her. I don't believe her to be dead.
Nah, I think she's one of the cash cows now. See, Marvel's trying to look for another cash cow, and I think the last hope is probably the Thor movie. But if they go in the way of feminism as well, you pretty much see the trope. And right now, when you look at the cut scenes, I guess the Clea scene was like trying to stop the incursion, but notice how during the Infinity Saga, all the cut scenes was basically universe building,
Yeah.
and you don't get the same feel from the cut scenes of the last two movies. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I just work here. I don't know what to tell you with that.
I'm like, they should put a help wanted sign out for writers, I guess. Well, let me cut this down. I'm about to dip out. Any last words, Bay?
I'm just waiting to see what happens next. I'm really looking forward to this Thor: Love and Thunder because I really want to see what happens between him and Jane Foster and her with the hammer and shit. That she looked badass. I got to give it to her.
Yeah, she looked good. Her character looks good for it. Her character does look good. I think the Jane
All
Foster.
right, so we talking Wanda. All right.
I think the Jane Foster. I like how she looks in the comics, and she looks badass with it. And if they go by the stories of the comics even a little bit, it's gonna be cool. But I'm gonna see what happens. Even though I still think they should have Beta Ray Bill somewhere, not just in a cameo mountain or something carved in. But we need a
Yeah,
Beta Ray. You know,
I agree. So okay, going back to because I want to throw my thoughts in while I got the chance of I keep wanting to call it WandaVision, but Doctor Strange too. So overall, I like the movie. I'll probably see it once it comes on Disney Plus. If it was a non-COVID, if it was COVID was around, I'll probably see it again because it's one of the movies where it's like, okay, you see it for the bright lights, then you kind of see it to kind of really absorb it. The one thing I like what Sam Raimi did, but a couple of things. One is the script could have been better. That needed to be tightened up. And the other thing was when it came to Wanda, there's no money shots. There's not enough money shots. There's not enough money fights. Like for instance, in the first movie, this is spoilers. I'm going all in spoilers. So if y'all look, this was announced, and I shared the video. So like for instance, when she's like in the trailer, when you see her kind of moving from side to side, and you see she's probing that force field. What I wanted to see is I wanted to see her do kind of something what she did when she was dealing with Thanos, and she tried to wreck that force field, and then realized, okay, these motherfuckers actually are blocking this, and I don't want to put the kind of energy I would need to just bulldoze it. So I'm gonna go and do the old shit, which is get what she ended up doing. But I wanted to see her really try to break that force field. They didn't really allow Wanda to really cut loose. It wasn't a real true Doctor Strange versus Wanda fight. The America Chavez fight with Doctor Strange, well, I mean not Doctor Strange, but with Wanda was kind of whack. I like how when she punched her, she's like but I wanted to see like really let her cut loose, and then Wanda just say fuck that shit and just be able to deal with her. But still, you don't really get a lot of the really the character fights, even with the Illuminati. I could see her outsmart maybe one or two of them. but it's not enough money shots. It's not enough money shots. If somebody would have came in there and added a couple of them, they would have been great. There is no true Vader moment, you know, and that's what I wanted to see. It was a lot of little things, but not something be like, oh man, wow. And that's what I'm saying, Raimi, yo, because he's experienced enough the way he should understand that. Didn't he do the he directed, yeah, he directed Spider-Man 2, so he knows what that is. Anyway, that was my thoughts.
I'm just gonna say about that. One, they toned down Doctor Strange a lot. I don't give a fuck. Like, when the fuck did you ever see in comics a pair of handcuffs restrain Doctor Strange? Like, make that make sense. I don't care what type of rock.
Mystical.
I don't give a
Mystical.
fuck.
Talking about they were Ashanti cuffs, man. Fuck that.
There is no way
The other
in hell. Let me put it to you this way. They toned down Doctor Strange a lot. Like, they really was yanking on Wanda being this credible threat when the original Doctor Strange, 2 spells and it's over. I'm like, God damn it. Like,
I mean, and I'm not saying why. I get what they were trying to go for with Wanda, because they were trying to be like she's Super Saiyan this, because they make it like the Scarlet Witch is a title. So it's like a power up, meaning all the other Wandas like that she was messing with. Everybody kept saying their power level was really where Wanda was on Age of Ultron, and because they had their kids. So she's different because she didn't have her kids, so she went through more bullshit, and her pain is what drives a lot of her shit, her chaos, and then she got the dark hole. I get that, but the reality is No, I'm not disagreeing with you, Charles. I want to, because I'm gonna play into what you just said. I'm looking at what Doctor Strange did against a Infinity Gauntlet, all but the Time Stone. No, he was missing the Time Stone and the Mind Stone. So he's got 3 stones or 4 stones. Yeah, 4 stones. And what Doctor Strange on his own was able to do against just him, he was able to hold Thanos off for a good bit. He should have been able to at least do that, at least minimum with Wanda. Him doing them little snake things and then Wanda knocking her down, fine. But he should have been able to do a lot more such shit. Then you got Wong. You basically made Wanda like Palpatine, and Wong should have been. Wong should have, with both of them there. Wong should have been able to hold a little bit on his own, because she should have had to focus on that. She should have had to try a lot harder than what she had to. She like, the only time they got her was with that mirror thing, and that's because she had to kind of outthink that shit. It was kind of the same thing with Professor X, but other than that, and then when she outthunk it, she was like doing in the water, and I get that. It wasn't so much I had an issue with Wanda being powered up. I didn't see the epic power up. I had an issue with Doctor Strange not being able to match that.
Well, she had that book. She had that Chaos Magic book.
But I'm measuring that against the Infinity Stone. True. But I'm measuring that against the Infinity Stones. That Chaos Magic book, like Doctor Strange, she should have had to try harder to deal with Doctor Strange, even with that book.
Doctor Strange, it's funny. You never really see Doctor Strange hit any. You kind of don't see him do any spells, if you notice.
Right.
He just don't see him do any spells. He just does his little openings, his levitation, and it's like Doctor Strange in a comic is a lot more powerful than that. It's like Doctor Strange should not have been like running as much from Wanda. He could have stopped. Even Professor X. Professor X could have shut her mind down.
You know what? Getting back, just quick tidbit. I have to admit, there were three times I jumped in that movie. 3 times I jumped.
When she snapped Charles's neck.
Yep, that was one. When they were behind the blast doors, and it was like, where'd she go? And then poof,
then when she ran to
all evil did. And
that was slick.
What was the third one? There was a third one that she did that made me jump.
You talk about Black Bolt?
No, it was when she had, because twice she had the witch face. It was the 2 times she had the witch face, and when she came through when she showed up in the room with them through the blast doors. Those are the 3 times they got me, because I have to admit, Sam Raimi did put some Evil Dead twist in there, and if you guys have ever seen Evil Dead 2, you know that movie will fuck you up. It'll catch you off guard if you've never seen it before.
Oh yeah,
And even
I know that.
Shout out to them putting my boy in there for Evil Dead.
Yeah, and the thing that I like about it is when you look at when you first meet Wanda, even when you meet her in the end credit scene, like in the I think Winter Soldier, I like that. I like when you first met her when she was doing that. Like I want to see Elizabeth Olsen do horror movies. I would love to see her do something with Jordan Peele, do something with like a true horror movie, because she has to look for it. Anya Taylor-Joy has to look for it as well. So, like, I like this saying because Sam Raimi played off of what was already there, and I get that because Wanda is not dumb. She's emotional as fuck, but when she calms the fuck down and act, she can outthink when she needs to. She's not smarter than Doctor Strange, but she can outthink spells. I can see her getting past the trash can. But again, everything that I'm saying pretty much said that I was robbed. I want to see where's the Captain America Winter Soldier fight. Like, yeah, Captain America is supposed to be able to, at the end of the day, beat Winter Soldier, but the fact that he held his own for as long as he did, and then the emotional intensity with it being Bucky, you know, that's what I want. And that's what the Russo brothers, even when you looked at Iron Man, yeah, Captain America and Winter Soldier should take Captain America shouldn't be able to just deal with Iron Man like that. Now that he can catch him off guard. And so the Russo brothers are very good at power scaling. Let me say that.
He should. Because one, this Captain America is based off the Ultimate, where he's actually a super powered soldier. So you're talking about a Captain America who can move a bulldozer in 10 seconds or less.
Okay, well, but my point is, it makes more sense. Like if you look at the Russo movies, you know the fights are more closer. They're epic. They make more sense versus this one. I get you wanted to go horror, but the reality is, if you want, you should establish that Doctor Strange is more on some. I don't know if she's really wilding out, if she's really is the Darkhold. So I'm not really trying to take her out like what I might be able to do. And then I don't know if I can. It's more so he's like, yo, Wanda is like I shouldn't get Terminator vibes. I shouldn't get that. Like it's just an insurmountable force, especially when you got that Chavez as well. And even when she fought, it should have been a bigger fight, and then Wanda would have won. But it should have been something where she like decked her ass really good to the point where she knocked her against something, and then she was just able to move that. But you don't; those moments are robbed from the movie. That would have made that movie insanely.
I'll put it to you this way: the power scale in some of these movies, when it comes to Marvel, okay, is weird. Doctor Strange has been Doctor Strange for a minute. I understand they made Wong Sorcerer Supreme, but if you're I'm gonna explain this for all the non-comic book reading motherfuckers. Sorcerer Supreme means you're the number one sorcerer in the fucking the universe. In your dimension, you're the number one sorcerer. So in other words, you gain a lot more knowledge and a lot more powers and abilities once you receive that title. As a matter of fact, the only person, if the character was in the movie, who was number 2 to Doctor Strange being Sorcerer Supreme would have been Dr. Doom. And it's funny because when, like you were saying about the Civil War with Captain America, that Captain America is a super soldier. He's super strong, and you can see it when when you see him tossing dudes around. I mean, Iron Man's suit can calculate him, but he can still overcome it if he has enough will and it's taking enough damage. And
but then again, he wasn't dead set on killing them either.
If Captain America wanted to kill Iron Man, he could. It'd be a hell of a fight. He might lose a limb, but he can put it to you this way: what did Iron Man say to Spider Man when he fought Captain America?
What
Do
did
you
Iron
remember?
Man say? Spider-Man?
Um.
Well, I fought against Captain America.
Oh, yeah. I forget, but I remember he did say something.
He said something about Captain America taking it easy on him.
He said Captain America was taking it easy.
Yeah, he took it easy on Spider-Man because he could tell he was a kid. So Captain America didn't really kick his
And you
ass. He just put him down.
could, and you
Tried
could
to fight.
see, and you could see all the maneuvers he was doing to his ass. He wasn't like bow. Like, and remember,
Well,
this
even
is the same Spider-Man who was easily holding his handling Falcon and Winter Soldier. And if you didn't notice, they were preluding to the show too in that movie.
Oh, having them work
well,
together.
Yeah, they were
well,
giving you a
even
preview to the show.
yeah, and even with the yeah, even with the Captain America fight, remember he took his mask off when he broke that arc reactor. Somebody said something really smart. They said he took the mask off because he might have suffocated if he broke that arc reactor first,
Yeah,
which is why
yeah.
he did it the way he did it.
He would have suffocated or something with it. But even then, you got to remember that arc reactor is his pacemaker. And last time I checked, if you really want to see the power and strength of Captain America, remember doing Winter Soldier when he's front kicking motherfuckers across the room.
Oh
And
yeah,
he
I remember.
so it's funny
But
because. But go ahead, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, you're right. But at the end of the day, it's not so much about me being like, as the old folks would say, ornery about the power scaling. It's about those moments are Rob, and because, and again, these are little adjustments. These are not big adjustments that need to be made. So it's kind of like, how did you? Now, to be fair, probably what happened is everything got cut up because they kept on doing reshoots, and that could be where some of this stuff got lost.
I think
Yeah,
that
I think the movie may have been based on how it was going. I think they cut a lot of political shit out of it. That's what it looks like. It looks like that's what they did.
Thanks.
I think so as well because some parts took a little off, like the one post credit scene with he gets the eye. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, he gets the eye with Mikey. I forget what they call it. I think it might be where he actually
They
meets
said
with the
the Aya Agamotto.
yeah, it's the eye of Agamotto. Which technically that's what they call the time stone. Technically, but Agamotto is really a relic that helps most of his powers.
Yeah, and they didn't really explain that because you're thinking because most people are gonna think that that's evil.
Yeah.
When it's not that if it's the eye, it's not evil.
Well, it's kind of funny, right? Because he never really got the Book of Ashanti, which is stupid. So does he get the Book of Ashanti in his universe?
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is they made the book like they how you gonna let them destroy the book? Like if that book is supposed to be evil, but then again they destroyed the Darkhold, which to me is stupid. They should have just left it out there. They kind of cheapened it. But as
It's
far as
just
the actors, sorry, it's just like background noise. It's like making me think like somebody's not talking.
no. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, at the end of the day, the actors did a great job. I think I would argue that Elizabeth Olsen, she has the potential to be at least top two or top three most popular, definitely the most popular female in the MCU as far as who's currently in there. That's easy, but I think she has the potential to be one of the more popular top two or top three popular characters in the MCU that's currently in there. because she's very likable, and you would think that folks would look at that because if you look at it, she's been in the thing for a little bit, and you don't have to be presented like in a lot of movies to be accepted, but she's a very likable person, and it's not just her. What is it, Monica Rambeau? She's likable as well, and that's part of your job in my opinion, because that goes to your marketability, especially when you're dealing with these types of movies. It can make a difference between people seeing them multiple times. Because let's be clear here, people forget this. On paper, because y'all are saying this stuff is a scam, and y'all got compelling evidence for that with the Captain Marvel. But this is true for Wonder Woman. Men saw that movie more. The men are always seeing these movies like a couple of percentage points more when it's the women. When they push the women 100%, it still do seeing these movies more. So
Yep.
the difference between you getting that second and third, that contingent of dudes that see it multiple times, and it having legs is really the likability. It's what's in the movie itself, but that informs the likability. The likability informs that. And Elizabeth Olsen is very likable. Even Scarlett Johansson, she has her political views, but Scarlett Johansson does a good. She understands that that'll affect her money, so she doesn't promote that too much. Chris Evans has his political views. They're on Twitter, they're there, but it's not so much. They control their media more. And like I said, Elizabeth Olsen, she's very likable. And at the end, the way they have, and that's why a lot of people are not even mad at what Wanda did. People are still trying to look at her like a good person, like she can be redeemed, which technically you wouldn't think she could, but because people want to see her more, and Marvel's going to pay attention to that. I do believe eventually she'll get her own movie, or she may
Man,
do
She
more of these
already had her own
star
TV
movies.
show. She already
I
had her
think for
television series.
I think her
Well,
character.
the TV show, yeah.
I think she should do like another WandaVision, which keeps her in the mind of people, and then set her up for the next movie.
I think
Because
she's going to be in the Agatha show.
yeah, because I think it's gonna
Agatha
be funny.
all
Because
along.
right now they're looking for their stars to carry them through the next saga. Right now, we don't even know what to call this fucking saga, and we're like, remember, we are so many shows in.
We know Marvel, they may plan, but they have guidelines. It ain't like everything set in stone. So as things change, like if people get more popular now, because like for instance, they didn't know Chris Evans, Captain America, they didn't know Winter Soldier was going to do that. They didn't know Winter
Right.
Soldier was going to do what it was going to do. And remember, Joss Whedon was doing a lot, and then the Russos took over. So everything is always negotiable if you show consistency. If you show, like, okay, you get one hit, and then you do a second one, now they really look. Because that's how it was with the Russos. Because even Captain America Civil War, that was just something they kind of threw together. And then the
Yeah.
Russos hit again, and they said, okay, because we're not going to deal with Joss Whedon because of the Ultron debacle. With how they try. I think that's stupid, because I get, when they said, "Oh, she said she could have kids or she's a monster," that was her relating to the Hulk, and the Hulk said he couldn't have kids. I mean, shit. I mean, so he was so I get why he had that there. But the point is, it was what it was from a political standpoint. So it's always negotiable. So if they see and they see that people are really liking Wanda, because nobody really gives a fuck about Wanda as a comic book character. Not like that. They like the actress. And then what that role, and then you got women, it's like, oh wow, this is an overall popular character. So the women are gonna latch on to her more so. Because it's not like she's doing anything that's not empowering women. I mean, Wanda did what the fuck she wanted to do. And she was charming. She was a little bit of white fuckery and some black female fuckery. Because, most black women are not charming like that with their fuckery. Wanda was
No,
like, yeah, they're
he was
not that
very
manipulative
charming.
with their fuckery. That was that white fuckery right there.
She was very charming with it because she was like, "This is me being reasonable,"
Yeah.
that kind of shit. But they're
And even with Doctor Strange, when Doctor Strange called her, and I didn't even catch that. Like when she said the America's name, that I didn't tell you that. She was like, oh, which made it like she ain't. I mean, because she's still younger. She's not gonna outsmart, Stephen Strange. But at the same time, she had a good run at it though, and then
He
she
was
didn't get
very
mad.
he was very cunning at it. He was a very cunning character.
Because people want to believe, because the thing about it is a lot of the Stephen Strange didn't really so there's certain people that had a history with her other than Tony was kind of like on some this shit is a threat. I'm cool with her, but I know Tony was like the most red pill with her. She can go left versus Captain America's like, well, she's just a kid. That's a WMD. And I like Wanda, but if Wanda wilds the fuck out, she can shut fucking Vision down, and we can't fuck with Vision like that. So y'all, and he showed that. And and then when you look at Stephen Strange, he didn't spend a lot of time with her. He had that connection with her because of the magical stuff. So he appreciated that, and he knew what she could do versus she didn't do it. So he gave her a lot of rope. And yeah, she took advantage of it, but it wasn't completely deceptive, but it was a little bit deceptive. But Steven wasn't no fool either. Because Steven and Tony is a lot alike, except Steven's more serious than Tony was. So they're still on it. I'm watching your ass. And Doctor Strange isn't much of a ladies' man either. So he's watching. So he caught her. And just that relationship. Now, I don't like the running away bullshit. But at the same time, but at the same time, I like how that relationship was. And it's unfortunate because I would have liked to see her apprentice under him. And then that where you see that bond for real. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think with her destroying their sanctum, I think that put Stephen Strange. I think that put him on the defensive, where he had to run because it was like, here I'm at a mystical school and she's wiping us out like it's nothing.
Yeah,
because she was so good with that chaos magic.
They had her like Hela. It was like Hela from Thor. Like it was almost like it was like and it's kind of like, and the thing about it is because you have a better relationship with Wanda, you're still kind of like, because you're still waiting for the kind of thing about, okay, she's controlled or taking over, because that's the expectation of people waiting. People did not expect for Wanda to be doing this shit. They saw the trailers, they saw that, they didn't expect her to be, they thought, okay, she's gonna dismantle people. But like, for instance, like let's say she took those people and she tortured them. That'd be like the worst. She brought the motherfuckers back from the goddamn dead and started torturing them to get Wong, because Wong was on some red pill shit. Wong was like, I never liked this bitch. I was like, the chaos shit. Like and even when Wong was sitting there on the thing where they had it with legs, Wanda was like, Wong was looking at her like, you fucking bitch. Like, you dirty. And then what did she do? She pretty much dragged his ass with the chaos like on the leash. I'm not supposed. You can't get us any closer, man. This is evil magic. Like, nigga, please. And she flew up and dragged his ass.
She like, it's kind of funny. The only part I didn't enjoy, all the guys had to die like cannon fodder, but the women put up more of a fight. I was like, trophy.
Oh yeah, and the black woman, and I'll give her credit. I give even that actress when they had that tear thing when she put a hole in the dark hole. I like how that cost her life, because Walt was like, no, she said you can't do it, no. And then she's like, you motherfucker, and then she said, where is it? Well, because that's another thing. She's sitting there, and you would think she would have put the dark hole somewhere. She's doing the dream walking shit, which like a lot of girls are gonna be dressing up like Wanda this Halloween. I want to fuck these men up just like Wanda. I want to burn their ass,
Get your eye black.
She gonna be like, this is me showing, like niggas be like, I'm going outside with the boys. This is me showing you mercy. Me cussing you out. So what you ain't showing mercy? Me putting your Xbox in the toilet, in the tub. No!
I just look at it like they better give me some goddamn continuity of action with the story.
Yeah. Oh, or they talk about because the first thing somebody talk about, Wanda's like, this is me showing mercy, and then Doctor Strange was like, bitch. He had that look like bitch, like, and it's like it's. And then they should have Vision there. Like I like what they did at the end, with her, with the kids thing, but I want to see more there. Like I want to see her lash out at the kids or something, like something, and but yeah, she was ragdolling that other Wanda, yo. She's but yeah, Elizabeth Olsen did a great job. They all did. Even what's her name? The chick that played Christine. Even the way she did it, like, cause that could have went weird. But I like how they had it where Doctor Strange had the scepter going. That was a good red pill moment. I thought the black dude was dead. I'm not gonna lie. I was convinced, yeah, they killing this nigga. This is about to be a sacrifice. You got her with him with a white woman. Oh yeah, this nigga's done. But they did it.
That's kind of fucked up. You come back from being dusted and find out, the bitch you love is getting black. She getting black.
And it's like, damn, it ain't a Tyrone. It ain't a homie. It's like a dude with a real career, a doctor. Ah!
And then you don't want her back because that Negro is splitting her like a log and shit. So.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, he getting clear. He getting Charlize Theron. But then even when Charlize Theron showed the fuck up, she's showing up like with purpose and shit. And it's like you coming out the gate like you did an incursion. You're gonna fucking fix it. Like that was retarded to me. But
it's like I'm just looking at that like, okay, that's his future wife or estranged wife, whichever point in the comics you're in. We'll see where this goes. It better be some old cosmic shit. I'll tell you that much. Tell you that much now. Better be some old cosmic shit.
Yeah, so we'll see. Because Charlize Theron, I never get over that black boy that you want to dress up, but it really makes me mad because it's like, well, Dwayne Wade does the same goofy shit. So how mad can you really be at her when now it's fucking train?
Cut out.
Yeah, it's work here.
Oh man, I tell you, like, yeah, I just enjoy the stars while they're in roles. Fuck. Any last words?
Nope. Not from me, anyway.
Anyway, I'm gonna just say another good time. If you want me to do more comic book related stuff, let me know on the panel. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments, and we'll do it. Right. But until then,
wake up and go to sleep.
Wake up and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Normally I would do that intro, but fuck it. We're gonna do this intro. We're gonna do this one, and we are gone.
By the power of Grayskull.